As a child, I murdered my imaginary friend.
Oh!
You know what? I don't need to ask any questions. This is true. I can already tell this happened. I don't know you, but this happened.
And I imagine it was a thoroughly thought out plan with letters and probably even a map or
ransom
something.
notes.
There was a suicide note.
Was it premeditated?
Oh yeah, it was premeditated. Yeah, I made it look like a suicide. So,
What was your motive?
you know when Fred, Drop Dead Fred came out? Like I tried on different imaginary friends. I tried like the fat man in a tutu and some fairy wings. I thought that'd be a really good imaginary friend. I tried remember the little monster from Little Monsters? Like Maurice from Little Monsters? Like he was like my imaginary friend for a while too. So anyways, my imaginary friend wasn't very nice. So he kept getting me into trouble.
So you moited
This
him.
was malice. Like this was.
It sounds like it was a self-defense thing almost.
Yeah, it was self-defense.
Now who's getting disbarred?
My mom was already annoyed with the amount of lengths I would go to with my imaginary friends. So she was like, okay, new rule. You're not allowed to have any more imaginary friends unless what? They die. And that's kind of where it went from there. So
How many imaginary friends do you have?
I think I've tried on 6. I don't know.
You murdered one only?
I've
I think this is a legitimate question, Alexandria. Did you murder all of your friends?
No. But when I killed the fifth one, and
Which friend was this?
Frankie, he was almost like turtle, like a turtle head, like bald and kind of stuck out like this. But anyways, he was in trouble. He would always do bad things.
What sort of bad things did he do?
He would borrow my brother's clothes because it was the 90s and grunges and oversized clothes are really cool. And he would borrow them. He would throw Lego. Oh, shoot. He once accidentally broke a vase, but I blamed it on my dog Bailey at the time. And my mom said no. And then I'm like, okay, it's Freddy. That was Frank. I don't know. It's kind of
Fred or Frank? He's an imaginary guy.
Well, because I remember the new friend I wanted. Because it was because again, watching, I had to kill him to get a new friend in.
How did you kill him? What did you do to him?
Poison.
Poison. Oh, that's nasty.
As a kid, you don't actually know what death means, but you know that when you see signs that say poison. So I gave it to him. I don't know what he did with it. I just gave him something that said poison on it.
What was the reaction to the finding of the suicide note?
Oh, that was...
That didn't get written to not be read.
No, that's pretty typical of me. I also was an alien as a child. I told my parents that I wasn't their child and I was coming. My real parents would come back for me one day, and I was just here to be tested and to examine everybody. So no, they were totally used to me being a weirdo.
Well, what do we think? Tara, did Alex murder her imaginary friend as a child?
100%. 100% she did. 100%. Yeah. Yes.
Have you ever eaten gone trick-or-treating and had candy and play Legos and then you eat a chewy candy and you don't like it and then it ends up somehow in your Legos? Well, I didn't do that.
That was Fred Frankie.
And for that, he had to die.
I just remember him looking like a turtle. There was a movie that came out, whoever plays Garth was in this movie. Who's that guy? Who plays Garth?
Dana Carvey?
Yeah, Dana Carvey played this, where he was a turtle guy. And I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly like him. That's exactly
Master of
like
Disguise.
him. Yes,
Master of Disguise.
Terrible movie. Your guy was too turtle for the Turtle Club. Get that when you see the movie.
I like how we just keep referring people to whatever's on the other channel. There's this great show about dog actors on Netflix. Just go watch that.
Watch it.
Yeah, turn over. Jeremy, what do you think? Did Alex murder her imaginary friend as a child?
I answered this within the first 5 seconds of the segment beginning. I stand by my answer, and it is correct.
How about you, Earl?
How old were you?
28.
This last week.
It was last year.
But let's just put it this way. I played make-believe far too longer than I should have. I remember being like 12 and playing with my Ninja Turtles, and I remember my friends telling me about kissing boys and stuff. And I looked at Monique and I said, Monique, unique Monique. She'd shave her head and I'd be like, I think it's time that we're done playing with toys. So I don't know, but I did it too long.
No, you didn't. You can play with those still.
Yeah.
You do you.
Thanks, guys.
Because if she was really gonna say really young when this happened, then writing a suicide note, I don't buy it. As a preteen playing with Ninja Turtles, yeah, I can see you marking your imaginary friend.
I really liked April.
Like April O'Neil?
Yeah, April O'Neil.
I was like, I thought you the month of April. You're like, oh, geez, I really want to have April to myself so I can really take full advantage of it. So in March, Frankie's dying.
Did you have the yellow jumpsuit?
Oh, no, I didn't.
And the camera.
And I also didn't have an imaginary friend, ever.
Whoa!
I think that's crazy.
I know, me too. Actually, when I was reading this, I'm like, this sounds like me for sure. This is great.
Yes.
I couldn't even write it.
Oh my.
Wow.
Give it up for the producers on that one.
Yeah,
man.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
Wow.
I'm
I'm shocked.
very upset about this.
Jeremy, you and I both, man. I know this chick, and I was like, oh, I'm sure that happened. Oh my God, she totally killed her. There was probably many of them. She probably had a whole cemetery beside her house that she had them all
I
marked.
had an imaginary cult. They all drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, despite everything we know about her, Alex's story of the imaginary murder friends turned out to be false. And since the rest of the panel drank the Kool-Aid, she gets 3 points. There are still a few more rounds for them to catch up, though. And in our next segment, we'll find out if Jeremy has a foul-mouthed secret. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single segment of Trust Me.